how much has changed in
Yeah.
that short period of time. Holy cow, are we are in a major quantum leap, an evolution.
Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman.
Jennifer, good to see you.
Oh my gosh, Daniel, how long has it been? I'm so happy that we are connected. Yahoo.
It's been a long time since we've done an interview or anything. It's been probably at least 2, 3 years or something. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what time frame that was, but
Oh, how much has changed in
yeah.
that short period of time. Holy cow, are we are in a major quantum leap, an evolution, right?
Right. I mean, yeah, again, there's just all these things that we have to, everybody, we're all talking about in the interviews, the LA fires and everything, and
Mhm.
the election, all the ideas that the Trumptonian view of the world. Canada is ours, and by the way, Greenland is too.
And why not Greenland? But there's also quantum computing and
Yes,
just
yes, yes.
wicked NVIDIA AI quantum leaps. And I mean, there is so much opportunity when we throw all the cards in the air. And right now, all the cards are in the air. And we really, one thing is when one of the I heard an interview the other day that I really resonated with. I forgive me, but I cannot remember. I think the first guy's first name was Graham. But he was talking about one of the major shifts in the world and that's significant. And he talked about seven of them. But the one that stood up out for me is that right now, even if it was an illusion, the illusion prior to right now was that there was sort of a given global leader, a stake in the ground, a benchmark country that was standing for supposed good and right. Whether, you adhere to that or not is another thing, but the illusion to the whole world in general, again, who knows, but in general was that. And now what's happened is that it's kind of an every person for themselves world, which is
Mhm.
an entirely different game.
Mhm.
So that's where we're at in 3D. In multi D, it's never changed. It has never changed. I mean, I think Ram Dass said it best. Basically, this could be a time of great anarchy, but what we need to do is the same as it ever was. Be in the present, do what presents, evolve yourself, um, and chop wood, carry water in the spiritual sense too.
Mhm.
So yeah, sure, anarchy, not anarchy, but we get to choose our own reality. Some people might scoff at that, but it's still true. And it
Right.
doesn't matter what side of the fence of politics or economics or, you know, global evolution you're on, the truth is still the truth, right? And
Right.
that's all there is to do.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, that's so true. I mean, the spiritual imperatives are the same, I guess, right? That
Hmm.
hasn't changed. That's that there is the change list, and that's what just seems to be constantly changing. It just seems like what's I mean, I always kind of laugh to myself sometimes though, because sometimes say, whoa, it's getting more pressure on us and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah,
Nope.
in some ways, in other ways, like, it was way harder living thousands of years ago. You want to talk about pressure? I mean,
Well, exactly. Well, let's look at, is there more pressure?
yeah.
Where does pressure exist? Does
Mm,
pressure actually exist in the world? Maybe it's just the level of distraction that has changed. We
mhm,
have more internet, more tools, more AI,
mhm,
more ways to see each other, AI generating content that can pull you out of your presence at
mhm,
a, we've got like 100 times more stuff to look at just in the last 6 months, just because
mhm,
people are using AI to generate stuff to try to pull us out of our own knowing and sometimes inform us. I don't want to take away from that either.
Right.
However, the pressure, there's only 3 reasons for internal pressure. And I'm going to preface this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the major turning points of my life was when I'm going to guess, I was married. So I would say it's probably like 33 and maybe 34. And no, 33. And I had been exposed at about 30 or 31 to some serious toxins. Cuprous oxide was just one of them, and that alone should have killed me. And then a few others. And I didn't have the protective gear to protect myself from it. And so it was really fascinating. What was really fascinating that I started to get migraines. So my brain started to inflame, and I had migraines at least 4 times, 5 times a month. And it was awful. That's when I that's when I started to, pay attention to holistic nutrition, which got me about 2/3 of the way better. But it didn't get me all of the way better. And so I knew that there was something else. It's when the beginning of my studies in epigenetics. But what ended up happening was I was lying in bed with a ridiculous migraine when I was only getting 1 a month. It was so bad. And I had already thrown up once, maybe twice, which usually I didn't throw up at all. But it just felt like I just wanted to die, really. And so it was the first time where I caused myself to go out of my body because I just couldn't stand it. It was so painful. And so I was forced out of my body. I think it was a really good thing because that's when I started to realize that we are multidimensional. Now you can imagine most people think, oh, Jennifer, you must have had this gift since you were young. Everyone can do this. It's not a gift. It's the way human beings are. It's just I was so mental at the time that I had to be forced to get out of my body to understand that we're more than just a body, right? So
Mm-hmm.
here I am outside of my body. By the way, ever since that experience, I would go to the dentist and not use freezing. So there you go. Because I could go out of my body. So here I was, and I heard this voice. I knew this. No, it was that this pressure that you feel is not yours. And I'm like, it's not yours. The pressure that you feel is not yours. And I'm like, well, then whose is it? And all of a sudden, no answer. I just saw it. It's one of the first times I started to see holographically. I just saw it. And it was my father's ancestry all the way back. His ancestry they were our engineers, and engineers need to get things perfect. And if you don't get things perfect, the bridge falls down, right?
Right.
So there was a lot of pressure. My father wasn't an engineer, but my father's father was just yeah, it was difficult to be my grandfather's son. And so my dad put a lot of pressure on himself, and I saw that and I took it on. And so I became a type A. I pushed myself, tried to get everything perfect, straight A student, all the things. And I realized at some point, Daniel, it's like this pressure is not mine. I don't remember at 3 years old putting pressure on myself. I don't remember any of that stuff. It had to come from somewhere, right?
Right.
So all of a sudden, from that day on, never had another migraine. So this is after 3 years of suffering, at first 4 times a month, and then once a month, and then never again. After, including it going away, one of the worst migraines I'd ever had. It just dissolved. I was like, oh, how can this be,
God.
right? So this is when I realized that pressure, which you mentioned earlier, the
Mhm.
pressure that we feel would be easy to take on, because for anyone that's a good person, you want to go and save everybody in California or come to Asheville and build new houses for the thousands of people that don't have a home still.
Right.
And in the end, all there is to do is what your heart is called to do, right?
Right.
And what my heart is called to do has not changed. It's not that I'm a bad person because I didn't go and build houses. I actually went to a big meeting where we looked at the bigger picture of the trajectory of all of Asheville and how we can take our lessons and pay them forward to other communities that are going to go through hardship as well. How
Mhm.
can we help?
Right.
How can we assist? And how can we template something? That's what I'm interested in. Some people, their brain doesn't work that way. They're the people maybe that build the houses. Other people are all about developing new charities so that people don't have to wait so long. Other people are born to work for FEMA and they just extended, people's hotel stays. And
Mhm.
everyone is doing their piece of the puzzle of heaven and earth. The only time pressure comes is when you're carrying humanity. When you're carrying humanity, the weight of humanity, you won't be your piece of the puzzle.
Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free meditate, make money meditation today.
And it actually makes you ineffective
Mhm.
because when you're being dreamt by the dream, literally that you came for, anyone listening to this right now was probably born like every part of your life led up to this point in our history. And
Mhm.
your piece of the puzzle matters more than ever. And if you're going to carry humanity, you're going to be pulled in a million different places, and then you're going to feel the pressure.
Right.
And it's because you're a good person, just like me, just like Daniel. It's because you're a good person. You want to, do the greatest thing you can do with the skills you already have that makes the biggest difference. You want to do that. But just because you can doesn't mean you should do everything.
Right.
The
Right.
greatest, yeah,
Totally.
right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, absolutely. I mean, you gotta know what your lane is and what's yours to do, what's not yours to do, and uh,
yes.
so I mean, the idea would be okay, just follow your intuition and all that stuff. Some people have a hard time doing that though when they have empathic overwhelm. They're already in there in the trenches with whatever the issue is. I know, if I have a family member or my mom or whatever, something comes up, it's like forget about my personal comfort, whatever is needed. Let's go. Like it's my initial feeling. I don't always act on that feeling, but it's a
Yeah.
feeling that comes up. That's a pressure. Oh, you
Yes.
should be. She's your mother, or she's this person, whatever, whoever the relation is. After all, this
Yeah.
person's done so much for you. You
Yes.
gotta always be there for them. And like even when
Yeah.
you said with the Asheville, the homes and everything. I was like, I forgot you lived there, and I feel bad. Like all the people I do know in the LA area, there's a
Yeah.
lot of people, and not that they care that much, but like I feel like I haven't talked to them, I haven't reached out to them,
Yep. Yep.
I haven't done this, I haven't done that. See,
Yep.
all the mind goes all where you're failing on something, right? Like
Oh,
all these
totally.
things, right?
And
Huh.
all of us want to be good people. We
Yeah.
all want to be good people. So, and we can't be a good person for everyone. We,
Mhm.
and in fact, a lot of, again, the pressure also comes from the human created identities, the identities which relate to sometimes, even if you're not religious, a lot of the identities about being a good girl, a good boy, a good husband, a good wife, a good whatever.
Mhm.
That sort of good definition is a definition usually given to us by the church or the Talmud or the whatever, even if we're not religious, it's in there. And then we've sort of been indoctrinated into it to make it sometimes a-religious, but that your culture might offer it, your whatever. And then there are all these identities. When we're free and clear of those identities, and some people might say, but I get it. Oh my God, Daniel, I so get it. I know we all want to be good people. It doesn't mean that we don't care. But the highest use of the piece of the puzzle of heaven on earth that you are is the greatest contribution you can make because it's the most natural contribution you can make. It's not
Mhm.
the contribution that you should make. That's the pressure.
Yeah.
It's the contribution that you were born to make. And
Yeah.
that contribution doesn't come from an identity. It comes from being a divine child of an infinite universe that's available to the dream that's dreaming you. And the dream that's dreaming you is so far past, so far beyond, so far removed from the shoulds, musts, and have tos that we've learned over our life. It's those shoulds, musts, and have tos that create the pressure that take us out of the present moment, that have us living an uninspired life. If you are born to live an inspired life, then there has never been, these times of great change are literally the times that we were born for, because never has there been more opportunity to flourish through. Flourishing meaning being completely fulfilled and living a life of meaning, which generally leads to a certain level of success about in every way on all the dimensions, right? Including financial. But, it's when there's more contrast, there are more opportunities to serve. There are more
Right.
things that people are asking for. And if we can catch up to what they're asking for, then the opportunities arise to be the most of yourself. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, that's what I love. You asked me before we got started, what's my intent for having
Now
created
you know why.
everything. Yeah. Well, I mean, not only that, but just, I want to just acknowledge you. I mean,
Mm,
I was just talking about that during what I offered to this event
mm,
already, and I was talking about don't be concerned with the idea that you're marketing, you're selling, or whatever. For those that are interested in growing a business, and yet they're like, yeah, but I hate marketing, I hate sales. Well, if you hate sales, it's a good way not to get sales. Like, but at the same time, it's like, don't look at it that way, like you're trying to get and all this sort of thing or manipulate. It's just loving people. It's just that's how you're successful. I mean, that's how we're successful, is by, truly successful is by really loving and caring for other people. And
mm-hmm.
people want to, contribute to you financially or whatever, they want to invest in themselves or whatever, but that's okay. That's great. So we have
Yeah.
to allow ourselves to just show up to care and to serve. And you need some stuff in life. I mean, so that's why we have the financial exchange. So
Well, the thing is, like, if you are a piece of the puzzle of heaven on earth, so imagine how consciousness um, resonates with the people that would most contribute in these times of great change. There's the trajectory of the environment. There's the trajectory of, these are all coming into confluence in every now of the day. The trajectory of the environment, the trajectory of politics, the trajectory of global humans, the trajectory of wealthy humans, the trajectory of not wealthy humans, tall people, different colors, asteroids, comets, all of the things are being, every blade of grass, every leaf on a tree, everything is being considered when consciousness goes, I could birth an entire star system right now. By the way, this is not what consciousness does, but I'm basically anthropomorphizing consciousness. I could create anything right now, but right now in this moment, instead of creating a star system, Daniel, it's you need to, because the trajectory that we're going on, your piece of the puzzle, your skill sets, your propensities, what you're curious about, there are going to be times where you are going to be the perfect person for the perfect time, for the perfect, and you're going to get to learn things. You got the perfect parents to learn those things, or lack thereof, right? To be who you are now. And so when people say I don't want to sell, that is about them. That's about, when you're worried about, not worried about, when you don't like sales, it's usually because of how you think it's something about being inauthentic,
right.
or that you don't like convincing people because you feel like there's a lack of humility and who am I? But in actuality, you're really robbing people of the gift that you are. You came, all of infinite wisdom thought you were a good idea in times of great change. Who are you not to make sure loads of people know about you? Really, literally, who are you to rob us all of what you came to the planet for? Truly, that means that you're not going to make the difference that you were born for. And
Mhm.
that's why life starts to feel unsatisfying. What if it's not about you? What if it's about the trajectory your life was designed to go on? So it's not about you, it's about the reason you were born. So when it's not about you, you won't give a how much you you really won't. You won't care how much you fumble over your words, how much you
Mhm.
say how much you um just, you know, don't quite get your point across in the most efficient way. You will not care if you know, do an interview, mess it up, and you keep saying sorry and at the same time everyone will get it. They'll
Mm.
get it because of your passion. People listen to your congruence, your
Right.
authenticity. They listen
Right.
sometimes when you mess up, it's the best. That's why before it's funny. We were just talking about my podcast. That's why before the podcast, it's like I hardly look at the script because I look at it just enough to be dangerous, you know? I'm like, and
Right.
then like, and then what happens is I'm just I follow it generally, but man, if something even better, you know, beyond what I would normally say comes up, there's room for that. And
Yes.
I live for that kind of stuff. Not because and making a difference for people, Daniel, is addictive in the best possible way.
Yeah.
It's not addictive in a way that would drag you down. And
Mhm.
it's not addictive when you don't carry people, when you don't worry
Mhm.
about people, when you don't have
Mhm.
a knowing that they can handle it. When you're just in the present with another human being shifting something, there is nothing better
Yeah.
because it shifts it for you both. So there's a
Right.
degree of deference to the universe. There's a real surrender and knowing that you're being dreamt by a dream that's so much bigger. And then
Right.
it's no longer about you. It's no longer about me. It's
Right.
about the joy of being dreamt by that greater dream. And everyone can get to that place. It's not for special people. I am not special. You are not special. None of the guests that you're going to have are special. The only difference is that they sort of caught up, hopefully most of them have caught up to themselves to some degree. And that's
Mhm.
it,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
then it takes a little bit of falling in love. It takes a little bit of falling in love with the unknown, like not knowing what you're doing, falling in love with that so much so that it transcends the need for courage. Like you're not worried about the fear anymore. You don't even need courage because
That.
falling in love with the unknown
Mhm.
and what's the dream that's dreaming you
Mhm.
kind of just makes you not care.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people do need the sense of courage sometimes to get started,
Yes.
but you're right. Ultimately,
Yes, you're
yeah,
right.
yeah, or to get that curious, because once that's something I love that somebody out there that I follow. I won't keep plugging them today, but that's they talk about getting fascinated. Maybe you know what it is when I say it. They get fascinated and curious, and the things you're fascinated and curious about are your things to do in the world, right?
Yes,
What
absolutely.
fascinates you? What makes you so
Yeah.
curious? And
You
so
can't
I
help
do
but
it.
research it. It's
Great,
and it's
and
like
you do what you do, right? We're all contributing in the way we do it.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
100%. I love physics. I can't like people look at what I watch and they're like, "You are kidding me. You watch that." I'm like watching Neil deGrasse Tyson have an
Mhm.
interview with one of the leading most maverick physicists and they're going down a wormhole and I'm like, I could watch 3 hours of this. And other people are watching like, I don't know what the hell they're talking.
This is so stupid. Let's get
It's
out of
just
here.
right, it's stupid. Again, give me
Right, right,
something that's more practical, right?
right, right,
So,
right,
and yes, I agree with you, Daniel, that but it's that stuff. It's like all of a sudden you go down the wormhole of how to make quilts and you watch 5 hours straight of how to make quilts.
right.
You know, I had one of my clients do that. She wanted to be this massive world-changing coach, and what she did for fun was making quilts. And she started going down that wormhole, and now she's become a really famous quilt maker. So
Wow.
but that's what happens. That's what you find out. Instead of doing
Right.
what you should do, you do the dream that's dreaming you. I do want to speak to the courage item, though,
Mhm.
that at first it does take courage, because at first it's very difficult to fall in love. It seems difficult. It's not, but it seems difficult to fall in love with the unknown.
Yeah.
And right now, particularly,
Mhm.
the entire everything, the environment's an unknown, taxes are an unknown, how certain people are going to deal with wars in other places in the world is unknown, whether bombs are going to be dropped here is an unknown,
Okay.
whether Canada is going to be the first 51st state is an unknown, and I'm Canadian, you know. So there are so, like, it's like someone threw all the cards in the air. So imagine what a skill it would be, Daniel, to actually fall in love with the unknown to the degree that you were thrilled with the evolutions that were available, and available to the opportunities that will present. Imagine that your operating system had shifted so much. Not saying we're going to do this in this conversation. That's a whole
Mhm.
thing about the
Mhm.
thriving operating system, but
Mhm.
imagine that we can all get there. You don't have to be there today. It takes courage to even say yes to that journey.
Mhm.
But imagine that kind of falling in love with the contrast
Mhm.
becomes a way of being. And it takes practice. And it takes a little bit of courage at first. At some point it switches, though. It's just like ka-chunk. You know when those you get those evolutions, those paradigm shifts, where it's not even an aha. It just chunks in like, oh, I got it. Like riding a bike, you know?
Mhm. Mhm. It's ah.
Yeah.
Well, boy, time goes by fast. So this is so deep we could talk for hours, right? I know you have a free gift for everybody to share. Do you want to just tell them about that?
Yeah. So we have a community called Agents of Awakening, where what we were just talking about, embodying those evolutions so that we can stay out ahead of the speed of change. Like as if you are already thrilled, but you have to embody the skill sets so that so that you're available to the ka-chunk where your new normal is, I am thrilled to be alive in times of great change. It's like there's a there's a flip that happens. We call that the thriving operating system. We talk about that in Agents of Awakening, our community. We have a monthly call where people from all over the world come and ask the most profound questions. And as I was saying earlier, I'm a holographic seer. So we have this just deep, wicked conversation about it, very practical. Like, how
Mhm.
do I, and what happens when, and what if the, how does that work if there is, a creator consciousness that, people would die that way? Or, it's just like really deep, moving, powerful questions, both about the world at large and personally. So we do that once a month. And then we also, you can connect with me directly and we can have a conversation. There are also recordings of something called master activations that actually help you to flip into that thriving operating system.
Mhm.
And there's the whole Get Out of Your Way program and the Thriving. Like the Get Out of Your Way program is already $500, and the Thriving Operating System is $1,000. So we're gifting the whole thing to everybody here, so that
Wow.
they can take Get Out of Your Way. They can take the Thriving Operating System course, and of course they continue. They can continue after the 30 days,
Mhm.
like so many do. But in that month, you could easily do those two programs, and they're so invaluable in these times. Seriously, it's like everything I've ever done adds up to everything we've ever done. I don't want to say it's me, everything, the collective, me, my team, all brilliant, brilliant humans have ever done. I'm sure you feel this way too, has added up to what we're putting forth right now. It's just, wow. Just, I'm so happy to be able to support and assist people by just giving that to everybody.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's very, very generous of you. And we'll make sure they have the link to that to go ahead and participate if they want to.
Mhm.
And yeah, if you enjoy this, man, yeah, get a deep dive with Jennifer and come into the community with everybody else and go deep together. And that's definitely where you're going to go with that. I can promise you that much. So this is really, really, it's been awesome and nourishing. I really appreciate you, Jennifer, and what you had to share today.
I'm so glad to be here with you, Daniel, and I just appreciate everything you do out there in the world. Thanks for spreading the good vibes, my friend.
Thank you so much.
For listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.